Yes, I'm Ctv Dwabre Jumedian Medin Eguswa Elaine Attoh. Call your Facebook no so at my Ctv GH Nakokanya home. Share, like, subscribe, and comment. Commenting is the way you can join us on our show this morning. Now we have very great panel members to discuss the happenings of Ghana, of the country, with us today. We have Mr. Osei Kwame Griffiths, former CEO of the National Insurance Authority. Yeah, that's it. And then we have Mr. or Chairman Kojo Ajiman Boateng, former New Dwabre North Constituency Chairman of the New Patriotic Party. Akwaba.
Oyima, yeah, Joseph.
Yeah, that is.
I'm saying one America for coffee, people.
Kwame kwa chairman,
with your eloquent introduction with this Queen English idiot.
Thank you.
Coffee na kumuye.
Uncle Kwame kwa chairman maybe.
Ena.
My Ura Griffiths in Kwame.
Ena Ura Griffiths is a high lawyer. Say one be
I agree.
Authority. Okay, all right. National Identification Authority, sorry, make a National Insurance, a National Identification Authority. More fine me. Okay, now today our first topic of discussion, say Papa say why the record breaker in investments when it comes to our education is on March in the Fourth Republic. Yera Kufadu NIA Kasa. Yera Kojo Ajiman Boateng, patron member also.
Yo. I'm watching them. Now me share what here for you now. So no wash for.
Yeah.
Omo internet life omo to me who life. Yeah, I had maybe no coffee, being so no be. Now, say discrimination there's any. Me will be able to say no coffee.
So pepper.
Me jam the opinion am kosre.
Enti my topic in Fiho. It's very important because Andra, I heard it in one of your sister stations about minority calling the or calling the governor, or they have summoned governor to come to parliament. Now, who be here say in that discussion, say ebedi hunkomo ye. Anyhow, we are ready to govern this nation. We can be in opposition, do the necessary criticism and critic to make sure the sitting government will be in line. I have no problem about that. Right. That is the essence of opposition. And make sure for whatever you articulate it in a manner that at the end of the day, is the benefit of the citizens. But you don't do that just because you are desperate. And desperate for the fact that you deceive the citizens. And the right thing must be done. And then later you go back and say, this is what I want to do. For me, it's disingenuous. And we must understand, say, because me to oppositioner, my whole concept is to make let something happen to the state. Now me I'm in your position, mean taking advantage.
But something did happen to the state. No, and is it a matter of desperation?
I'm coming. Oh, you're talking about the governor thing? What happened to the state?
That's what they are telling us.
Of course. So
that is why they are coming out
for them to say this is what has happened to the state. You have right and the procedure to tell the state precisely what has happened. You don't just confuse the one side and now come back to the point that this is the time that I'm going to tell you or I'm going to find out what is happening. Then you are not a leader. Then you are not ready to govern the state. And as opposition, we say then you may be out. Where Juma Kakra, ya dear Mao, also Yanisa Banana Mombia Betunu, also your alternative government. Your proposal to give us an alternative, criticize what the government have done. Go through the numbers, tell the truth to Ghanaians, rather than being just because of, and I make us a desperation, because open power. Into your power is what has happened. Maybe but I'm confusing the people to let them know, say, BBS, you are reminded to me and our constituency no edi nimdia show say whatever is going to happen on the ground no explain to us, we the ordinary citizens. But uba no be din tragedy. What causes sankrofo mako go street, lie to them. There will be describable personalities and people that they have sacrificed for the state differently.
So you think the opposition is drinking in hollow?
Well,
oh, it's more than that. It's more than that. I don't want to use the word, but they are more than that. Because you see, I don't think their terms of reference that they are giving to the people of this state that we are the alternative government, you know. It is not there. They don't have it. And I thank God and the people of this country that they are not an ordinary people. They have been in the helm of affair and we know how they govern. And now, no, I'm got in opposition now all the time, all the hours in their side, you know, they still couldn't sit down and figure out how they want to govern. They should give us one alternative. Since their lifetime of 8 years, we got through opposition. But we are giving you an alternative solution. One. When you show a seasoned journalist, ya yek budget to Okromha, Anya Shikra, 16 times. Ya media budget, ya main budget. 16 times. Woman country one alternative budget that they have presented to this country. All is about criticism. Oh, Sigaya, the question JSS, you wait and let them come and describe how they were going to describe 115 billion or Nana Kufado Kanwasemoha. That is why I started from there.
So that there is no truth at all.
So, and it's not between me and you about fishing for information. More the information comes to you. You are the second branch of the government. Government can never function without parliament. The brain of this nation is parliament. 275
members.
Think for us. Tell your constituencies the truth and the matter how the nation is going. And I'm happy. Say, and then I know now to Jumka. Tape no I will fear here. Say, so I dear now minority TC Abonti never pay heavy. What is wrong for them to call the governor in parliament? Come and explain the numbers to us.
You think that wasn't done before they decided to do the demonstration?
Even your host, I can say, minority, obidi, Mama Yariga, say, Mahama Yariga, say he has written to Mahama Yariga 3 times in parliament, the 4th time, no qui. He know the procedure in parliament. You don't have basis. Mahama Yariga, governor say, on finances in real. We need the procedure in parliament. I felt you could try who could describe an honorary somebody, a serviceman, service to my country, a wing commander. Catch and say, or your man. You, and I refer to you.
I'm a combat veteran. I didn't refer to him as a wing.
Yes. To definitely counter.
I never said that.
Madam,
as a wing commander, I will not call him a watchman.
So for me, but don't be in opposition.
No. I never said that.
I can call for the tape in this house.
I refer to what statements that people had made.
Okay, so
but here's the thing.
He has not denied, right?
If I may,
I can't.
I have
listened to
my friend Watchman. Me na me the organogram no buy. Oh, and I'm a bit say he's more or less a high-ranking person in the place.
Or counter baby, I'll can't kakra na obo.
Na so sorry ko. We me nkanya ora Mahama no tinifie ni aka na asem onya kwan respond. Oti hanam. Oti ase. Did you hear the word? He said he referred to.
I refer to what somebody had said.
English is flexible. Now you have a credential about what I'm talking about. You don't make references, business references, which you understand the language properly. I'm a catch and say, I am a yes or cancer because several country there. Anya she crown. Mo and they are trampoline mo cry mo tremu before any dignity because you have mixed a lawyer also or your man or your man now bisa wagaza na your man ye dey on hwe niam so you see and you about to tina krom ha now for bit Sam George what find the national chairman of the NDC normal can we are must dinkrofo and a whole member of parliament excuse my language this morning Timika say nye MP na me ya and Kamaka so nya saw me
also what can be you shouldn't have said it
so he came to apologize
why retracting
or you should go and tell those to the doors why retracted that when you have a crowd
apologized
no madam put someone I'm saying you should go and apologize you should go and tell those to the doors you see you won't intentionally do something which Salam Nana can't be or say Obuapa bo intoxicated bo
right
konumsa na ye wadwe so betra ho so bedidi matama wadwe ho deda
wadwe right
wadwe ho deda and you an honorable member a lawyer you call yourself a human rights lawyer okay so you are apologize now some not kind every growth
but okay nkremu na nshala nya insult but enya afi na mecheche
opa enkran me akan kran tie ede opa ma me kan twi nkyere o se be yo da no pe ya
but when they be high national television into me kasa
o di me ka twi
afofo hwe
the budget say twi no
I don't really, I can't understand tree in that moment
you can agree say a high enkran to the sort of kan enkran yan fa ne sa
yes and
this are o kan out say me kan wa kan kasa mu me na that's a
topic one one
me say
one one set the topic 10 minutes
but now I can tell you to halt
my point is that
he has to counter you yes Mr. Griffith could you please counter everything
okay
counter
yes
on the topic of one candidate or the topic we must speak to
so why did you decide to give me your topic then
no
I also decided to bring your topic and I allowed it so he has to counter it
but for counter it is not an argument
no it's not an argument
it's not an argument
he's going to counter with facts
I try to let your audience to know how disingenuous and how lies and propaganda that
and that is what he is trying to also counter
first of all
so please allow me
education
let me respond. Of course,
you okay, Mr. Griffith. Could you please respond to whatever Mr. Boateng
Thank you very much. First of all, we all agreed in 1992. Said we are going to embark on this journey of multi-party democracy, and in any democratic dispensation, there are various forms with which you air out your grievance. A democracy should be able to celebrate somebody who, out of protest or anger for what the people have done, national flag in a demonstration of
his... the time he never said anything, so please allow him. Yes. Until you mention his name. Until you mention his name, Mr. Boateng, so please allow him to land. Thank you very much.
And you know, a democracy, no, I was say you're celebrating Krofua, umutimi Ghana flag. Now, out of protest, a flag no, in protest of what is going on in the country. That is democracy. I'm just telling you, sir, nobody has gone to that extent. But I'm just telling you that a democracy can get to that point. It happens in so many countries. It has happened in the US several times. The first thing they do is they pick the flag, and it doesn't mean that they are less patriotic.
A citizen doesn't burn the flag.
I'm just saying, it doesn't mean...
Was the flag burnt?
No, I'm saying, I'm saying, I'm saying
that people do that in demonstration of their anger, of what their circumstances. I'm just telling you, sir. And the democracy, Obi Kosia, Prime Minister. This thing happened in 1994. UK. To Kosiabo Prime Minister.
That does not mean.
Do you know his? Do you know? Do you know? Something happening your friends say the Gulf. The issue is that listen on. Do you know his punishment? He just had to pay for the laundry of the suit that got dirty. That was all. And that is a democracy. So if there are options available to the MPs, that's all you choose to say, because they want the citizens involved. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, that is your view. I'm going to give you figures. What is the job of Bank of Ghana? What is the governance responsibility? And if you look at their enabling act, it states very clearly, said they advise on financial management issues. There are three responsibilities. One more advice on financial management issues. They advise on fiscal policy and a monetary, their main monetary policy. Good. Let us take all the three responsibilities. Ghana has one of the highest debt to GDP ratio. It's 88.77%.
And the Bank of Ghana.
I just stated per the enabling act, their responsibility, their advisors in that. I'll come to the monetary side, which is their main responsibility, but they have two other minor responsibilities, and I want to touch on that. I don't think inflation. Inflation is 40%. What can I say? COVID, any Russia-Ukrainian war. However, let's look at Benin, inflation is 2.1%. Let's look at Nigeria, inflation is 25%. Let's look at Liberia, inflation is 12.36%. Let's look at Ivory Coast, inflation is 3.6%.
Yes, statistics.
I'm just giving you.
Sitting in one town was inflation.
You stated that the opposition lied.
Yes.
In their demonstration. They called him names. The reason they called Addison names. Now, he is trying to ask or put out facts and figures.
But that is not
to
a fact
try
of the
to respond to what to you it's not fact. But to the people, to the masses, they may want to get the reason that demonstrated was hard.
And I'm saying demonstration.
They may want to know.
We are there. I'm 10 minutes.
That's 10 minutes.
We are there. I'm 10 minutes. What there? Opakasa. Say why in Saudi Mogos are yes, can you one into Manquan Diagrasafo. I can't conanke I can't conanke because assembly at your party. Food inflation is 51.9%. This is the highest we have had so far in this country. Policy rate. You want to have Bank of Ghana or more core responsibility. Policy rate is 30%. It's the highest we have had in the Fourth Republic so far. Policy rate is
measured by the economy. As the Bank of Ghana almost 30 policy rate.
Meba. Walking I'm so case man kabiu. Burkina Faso policy rate is 5.2%. Liberia 17%. Yeah, 30%. It is the highest we have had so far. Now let's go to the core responsibility. One kasa per their law. By the end of the first quarter, they have to bring out their financial statements, and they mandate same for all the institutions under them. And to the one man farm, I punish you. Institutions under them, no. Omobaka, banks because banks na boka.
And so don't so about mine car.
60 billion on one in the financial statement by Waboka 60 billion. I say it's not a profit making. Therefore, we can't say they've run at a loss. What is profit and what is loss? If your income exceeds your expenditure, you can call it a profit or you can call it a surplus. If your expenditure exceeds your income, it is a loss. Whatever English language you want to use for it will be unfathomable. Maboka 60 billion. Mwankasa pay your financial statements. And also so non-channel. The end of the first quarter, you did not bring out your financial statements until somewhere late July and August. Now, bank now will hand so no delay, sir.
Maybe. Are you the one moderating?
Maybe you are.
You went full 8 hours sorry, 8 minutes, forgive me. 8 kasai. Mama nan kasa. Obody dian so kasa. So why are you trying to do that to him? He's going to land in the next 1 minute.
Martin, madam.
Now, exhausted.
A friend say, you ran at the loss. Well, friend said you brought it out in August. Say banks, yes, I will try one. Who printed Sika without parliamentary approval? 77 billion printed money without parliamentary approval. Now, so on what Ufi said we should continue as governor, say Obia, Sabi, in some democracy, no, and Kawe no nya kra na beka se on fanadwumanto ho. On one beba be pacho. So we do o man hwamo. Enti no fanadwumanto. Enti these are the reasons why we went on a demonstration. Now, the mode with which we chose to air out these grievances and bring out this, it is part of our democratic dispensation. Abai presidency what is we? One kofa kumi prekuba
first.
But at that time he was a member of parliament. Could he have summoned a friend, said the finance minister to parliament first before the demonstration? He didn't do that.
Now you soldier, we are metro.
Messi, he didn't do that.
You see now you're military to America. So if you don't have,
who told you that? I was here in Ghana.
You were not.
I was here in Ghana.
In 1998 you were in Ghana.
Yes, I was in Ghana.
No, Masa.
I was in Ghana in 1998.
You go and check record.
Who check here?
We're not trying to play tickets.
No. You see, these are some of the things
I would like us to link this to the Gold Coast security. So area picketing 2 days, 48 hours picketing, and also they are beseeching the finance ministry. Say also or musika or sweat or mutimi or musika yemfa when nkokra for pensioners. And these pensioners, as at the time, they were one or part of the people helping the current president come and sit in power. This Osha pensioners age or more now. These same ones were definitely in Mr. Watting said they are sure many know. I said, "Oh, be counter me and kasa."
You are bringing a healthy discussion.
Yes, and so what would you say? Minyanka, me call Mr. Griffith so because so Mr. Watting. Mr. Watson, what's your take on these people's sweat? An 82-year-old woman, had to sit there to picket for her money. One widower had to sit there for 35 years after losing her husband. She's still not getting the money. Another whose child is in the 3rd year in the university has to drop out and sit at home because she can't pay the fees anymore. Others have lost tens of billions.
You see, I understand that, and somehow it hurts. It hurts.
Right.
For me, individualistic, I can say I am with them.
Right.
Okay? Because that is what you decided and figure out. This is what I'm going to retire on. Ojase. Me born me brain I had a bit misika kwa kogu. Na me dia ko tuma na mo. Ojase. But at the same time, when I'm in America for, do you understand that the business goes bad?
Most of the time.
Thank you. Thank you. So it linked on all these aspects. The risks that comes in. And it's the same as life. It's the same as life. So it's not at the point where you say I've given birth to my son, my daughter, whom I've spent so much investment, and at the end, if I lose that child, what are you going to say? You lost it. It's painful. At the end, you have spent all your hours, your time, your money. That is the risk. Inti Nyankopon kra de yeye. Oh, that's all you need. Oh, the ofanya will give glory to him. And thank God, say be why your investment be and go bad da. So you know how many people that most stock market a crasher omoya ade. It's not like omo party say wo. And as ade no man dwene ho. And I want that the thing happen no. Now somehow no obi andwene obi a. You see, you are talking about all this Gold Coast. Okay.
Gold Coast security, yeah.
Yes, yes. And let's be fat. Let's say the facts here. Except Ghanaians doesn't want to hear it. In an amount of $65 million in the era of the NDC or the year transfer the coin. Where is the money? Was it him money that Obidibo loan?
Who's currently sitting on the throne right now? The NPP government is sitting on.
See, you can't.
So they are the ones owing.
No, hold on, madam. We are you. Assume say, "Ede yedi akunya show sa baby awa betini." Oba ye no bia boka 65 mismanagement, $65 million. An ordinary person or also adding the sika for investment. No got to say matam sika no because you be a book I'm going to settle that debt because what to Obama.
Oh, Debbie said definitely you'd have to make sure you settle them in a way or form.
You would say you're a corporate Ghana.
Definitely.
So in everything that comes to the kitty, that's where you share it.
That's why
no. Ubetimia anywhere. When Nanado took over, was the handing over notes catcher and say, because I transfer 65 million in overseas. Right until the governor, until the sitting governor, did their auditing, and all these things surface. It in ordinary person or Tiabontin, me mamina and now to me to any school fees, and 82-year-old, the investment or the core Gold Coast security, semi core retirement, I rely on it. Where he put his faith is where they have deceived him. And it's a private sector venture. It at the end of the day, Okotam, I mentioned the media, and me made 55. The Mississippi investment, media bro, if it's controlled by the government and I'm monitored by the government. No, what I'm saying, no, they are quite to and I mean, you do me so better than I'll bet you.
But then again, the financial
where you coming from? Did you hear the baby boomers? When your insurance and all these things and your social security, when they were managing it, they were thinking about baby boomers. So you see, as a management, and yet by means of say the humor and no, you deal with the facts and numbers. Papa betna ha obabe at the Griffiths economics wa haya o man the kwan e man keka nsem ya and government are printing ska meanwhile the Tiabontin
one printing ska there.
No, even printing ska no kran. What is the meaning of printing?
Who print here?
No,
say a free machine. Why you printing? You ask me printing. Hey, brofo. It's definitely you are printing it from a machine. That means you have physical evidence.
I don't know. Person me sure say all case printing. Ordinary person or Tiabontin by just buy the machine as you do cheska.
Then yes, can we try?
Why can't you to say what to become? That's how economic to ground on Tiasia.
Yes, can we try? How do you cheska? I mean, he did it. He did that. He did that anyway. What
no. At your level.
See, I will deal with it.
It's a Bank of Ghana.
I will noted. I've noted
it to the layman.
Oh no.
I'm a layman.
No.
No, I'm a layman. Explain it to me.
Into the OTS,
yes. So explain to me, like I'm a lame person.
That is not the case.
So explain to me.
When they talk about the printing, it is about looking at the size of what you have in the reserve, and at any time when the government is in crisis. That's where you borrow. You took it from there without saying, the next approval. It's where they used to support the budget. The printing is
not
about
that is an excess. There's money allocated to support.
No.
We are talking about physically printing money. Out of
printing.
Yeah, no. Get.
I'll give him the company.
Maybe some say, start printing for at forcing. On your minority, the on ranking member of parliament. Maybe say printing now. You can a sika printing now. Griffiths, a whole CEO say a sika. We tell you, sika printing from machine and a Ghana printing. I don't printing out here.
You are deceiving us.
Yes. Really?
Because I know money. Money can be printed. Money is printed,
and that is what we are talking about.
That is what we are talking about.
That is what we are talking about. Even if printing can the coffers is empty. So if the coffers is empty, where did they get that money from to give to us? That's what I'm saying. I'm speaking like a lame woman. So explain to me.
So I can spare you. Stay out of that conversation.
Why?
Because already I can't forgive him more. Because he has run an institution of life of people. So catch him say printing.
And I'm a student of finance.
Say catch.
Don't forget.
And now, say.
So that's why I'm telling you, said the Okanya correct.
No, you see,
they have physically printed money.
We need an expert.
Let me expert explain to you, say, as someone who say printing a sika binding machine, see one who try.
Man, Kasa bind a tran work Ghana. I know where they print. Your friends, I've been to the factory where they print Ghana print their money.
Expert, I mean, then before we all get up, if I'm wrong, I can apologize.
Yes.
If not, he has to withdraw. Because you can't deceive the audience. Let me. I don't need to explain.
That I want to be an expert. I want to try and say. Printing, no. To force and cry my uncle. Because the public need to know. Say, a machine need to me the trees. He can say, Eddie Guo, and I say. Yes, you can't go for Kuomudada and on me use here. Mbenya to force and somebody who's an expert when it comes to printing and kabed. Like a case we yen settle.
But before then, if I may also come in, and I saw Wakasa, and so you're putting your mouth. Wakasa, Milandi
ya odima me America hwasem and I can finance so better didn't drug printer as Makasa bi. I design a moderating program. Mommy, we are giving the floor to
an expert has sent a message to relay to us that it's not printing via a machine. That is already set. Can I finish? Can I finish?
Don't expose me. It's fine. It's fine. I mean, person be good.
Printing a machine. So now the masses know say, and your machine is why printing, but it's money that is sitting there that is allocated to them when they need it, as and when.
You see. Listen. Who as an SEO handle million Ghanaians.
I have a document. That allocation is different from what we are talking about. Physically, I saw a member of parliament holding money when they denied that they are printed. Pointing to date, no so. Is that not physical printing with the date on it? Look at the period that we are saying they printed money. When they denied it, I dare the want to say if physical money, as show date, no was so say sad date, no was so no crack can say or no crack studio or trans studio can say a replacement printing. You said that in this studio.
Wow.
And that is how the MPs that is how the MPs counted. A friend said, don't forget the finance ministry denied that they had not printed any money. And how the MPs proved, they said, physical, look at the date of printing. And that to be able to happen, you need parliamentary approval for that to happen. And that parliamentary approval was not sought. That is what we are talking about. Let me deal with some of your issues.
Physical printing. A procurement process.
Which procurement process?
You can never just go to a machine so organization printing come up and Fanko Ghana and Amikudi. International assets.
That's how it is.
Kind of a Ghana propaganda for 32 years. It didn't
say in Parliament they raised money and showed the dates on it. That indicated that they had not given approval for that date for them to print money.
Madam,
you
settle the matter.
What are you talking about? Who settled which matter?
Let's finish.
I have a different opinion.
Because the issues that you have landed, let me do my.
Me can who can be.
So the two of you are moderating yourselves.
I'm moderating your sorry. That is how you want it. Because when you are deceiving,
I am waiting for you.
And the little thing that you show, and I'm happy. Say the way you are moderating it. You're funny saying you know we may not be right.
12 minutes.
What you say?
Oh, time.
The argument I mean why is more than 5 minutes. Can't you person make us so any because you say I'm good at those things. It's yedi na men kama sem. O na wa floor pon and yenya expert why expert nya tray. Let's move. Mo mo trace mo dia dada Ghana fo ache. It's na nya dia o de o ken and nya na de be educate me. And unim say how we print money and nya na be educate. I've worked in the biggest bank in the world and you know say I understand these things better than you. Etinu, enya entina me dada wa na mapia wa kotum. Now so ya. Now yo
let's move on to the Gold Coast security so we can finish and he can speak. Yeah, you counter it.
Oh.
Mr. Boateng to us so.
It in Gold Coast security as me kofa buy or they print as me na be say. And one of my experience to mommy, what I'm trying to tell you is that it cannot be a case. Say an individual investment, akoboka. Except where ABA, the monetary government will probably say, I take a full responsibility because I did not monitor the transaction. Well, what I say? And that is where government at this, when they were doing the insolvent and all those things to the bank, ordinary depositor, Edinisika Betoho. Now, what da? Think you say bank, with the monetary from Bank of Ghana, the ordinary or the Ghana government is monitoring how the activities is going on. Not Sikanashi. A whole government began to say, well, this thing, I am a responsibility. But when you talk about investment, two things. Difference of deposited and investment. Investment is where I have sat you down, conscientize you, giving all the risk involved. Until at the end, because you call a passer, open sorry, open time a year, better airtime, never hear explanation. So, Mami landed. These are the things you cannot easily get the government to absorb it. Because no absorb what is the same taxpayers' money. And this type of investment.
Right.
Okay. When we can judge it, I'm not saying government cannot even help. If there is any, it's can be the baby I am fine you need to media. Right. But it is not being like a government intentionally say was said that and was it or yeah.
Okay, Mr. Griffiths, please.
Well, JD kind. Say you can say.
Mr. Boateng, please make sure you do not interject. With all humility, make sure you do not interject. Thank you very much.
15
minutes. Mr. Griffiths, please go ahead.
Good. First of all Kasa no say Pakwesi Ndum a transfer 65 million under NDC. You have been in power for 7 years. What have you done for Pakwesi? Because crime has no expiration date. Oh, San Kontompo Wenuna, ye can't want someone. Yanamo Wenum Entiasiano. You have been responsible for the administration of this country for 7 years. Oba, Yamin Chadie, Yen Sika, and I will say, will be at time 65 million at the Quaman on it. One fuck and passing at the coy. Whoa, no, Yoko Shawansa. Friends, what best office of special prosecutor, police here the Eshawonsa, dear and the more ben were two afahu. I didn't think I would be a wafa 65 million at the Aquaman on it, or more as a free man under your watch. I mean, let us enjoy propaganda. Now, the other thing I want to raise is that. First of all, and MPP for say private investment and now buying it. Meanwhile, when they were coming to power, you remember one of their campaign promises was that they were going to pay them. And everybody knows in this country.
I am correcting.
And Crawford, you want microfinance in the banking and all those things.
Investment. But it's not investment.
Oh, Minya.
Oh, yes, I don't think depositors is different from investment.
Whatever it is, it is not the government's business. What you are saying, it is not the government business to be paying those things. Meanwhile, it was one of your campaign promises. Now, let me come to Gokos for a year. You had the option to save these institutions with lesser money. You decided to collapse it with a bigger amount of money. Per Mwankasa, your promises to the people. Also, you need 8.5 billion. Initially, you can say 8 billion to settle all depositors' money. And now revise it into 8.5 billion. And eventually, also made a for 8.6 billion. It was approved. Allocation was made in 2022 mid-year budget, and then 5.5 billion in 2021 budget. The people are saying, where is their money? That's what the people are saying. Now, Enka, what do you want for Sikano cry? For Sikano Mawomono. Recognize what they are doing. Can some pebichewon? No one commento. They went there and the
fact that they met the absence of.
Yes. And then they sat there for years. Nobody was willing to even listen to them. So, after government came up with the excuse to say, after all these budgetary allocations, so targeted towards settling their money in black and white. It is stated clearly. Said, "What is it? We know. Yeah, they quite tia almost uncle for ya almost a demonstration. Say, almost pay almost sikano. Yeah, go tia on car. And now what they call parliament. Parliament approve amount. Now, sikano, why didn't it go to them? I think the government came up with an excuse to say, because they are in court trying to sell the assets of Goko's security. Has nothing to do with the settlement. If you know, say you are in court to set a friend said to sell, liquidate their assets, to settle the people who have, you know, whose investments are locked up. If you know you are in court, why did you send it to Parliament for approval for you to get? But that's separate money. You collect these banks. I
think it was allocated to those who were within the ranges of 500,000, so they could get their money. But the ones beyond are the ones that are being liquidated.
That is the point.
Some as per what Chairman said here yesterday, Charles, said here yesterday. He said those within the 500 have got it.
Yes.
A certain number, I can't remember. But they've got their money.
And that's why I'm saying the first one, which was 3.1 billion, was allocated in the mid-year budget. 5.5 billion was also allocated the following year. Which covers, who putting it together? The total you also mutually their own EU from 8, it went to 8.5. 8.5. But if you put 3.1, anyway, 5.5 together, it comes to 8.6. So why are we still having people who haven't been paid? Why are we still having people who have not been paid? That is the question we are asking. And that is the question they are asking. I listened to the secretary to, you know, they have some association.
Yeah, they have an association.
Yes, I listened to the secretary. And the question that was posed to the secretary is that, Munya Botrena, you see, you were caught, you perceive a tone, one more, and your man. Assets very unremitted. 5.5 billion. I mean, let's okay. And I'm good that day. Only mention. Assets say a bit 5.5 billion. So, Anna, the man came back very angry, said, court seminar has nothing to do with the bailout process that is going on. The bailout allocation has been made. And Parliament has approved, your friend said, those allocations until they expect to have their money. And now, say something to them. Say, oh, Ebia, Munya Butrema, Sikano, yeah, proven, but liquid, it hasn't become liquid cash. But even if it's so, the last allocation was made in the 2021 budget. We are in 2023. These people are still complaining. Say, and what are we talking about here? And no, you can walk on some now. No, much that chinchima, some he said, private investment. Private investment, no one was over Jonka. Why did you send a budget to Parliament requesting for funds to pay them? Because that's the people's money. So, and you know, let us be honest to the people in this country. So, propaganda no will be our Ghana. And therefore, I urge said they should be given their money immediately because as of 2 years ago, approval has been made in Parliament, allocation has been made. And therefore, they should be given their money.
Some are losing their jobs too.
And some have even died. Out of Argentina.
You want to say something, something very little under 2 minutes?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's good. You see, he's talking about the bailout. All the time, they can say, now can say, you use 21 billion for bailout and all these things. Get the facts. and the numbers and tell the people. If you put all the indebtedness of the banks, those that they consolidated and then everything, it came up to 21 billion. Already, the bank is already in the indebtedness of about 12.9 billion. So if you talk about the physical investment of physical money that the government at the end of the day, only 9 billion. It comes up to 21 billion. My question is that, you are talking about Sikana idea bailout than the young farmer. First of all, that 12 billion is gone. So what I say, what you have available is now Sikana miminu mienu Sikana World Bank, That is the availability of the money. Where the government has to make sure, say, at the end, it is there for the ordinary person because who they are depositors. It will share the transaction and the presentation, they separate it too. One crown musika a core account. Do you understand core account?
No.
Core account to say bank and for say usika be da baby. They be a babe afini for one senka.
Okay.
They move that money to a certain place and give you an interest on it without even your instruction. What did they make an answer?
Right.
Without your instruction, but the bank will fail say now a record dormant account. Account they move that money to core account. It's a interest rate for 21%. The bank can decide so you amount 12% without your instruction. Even that one, my dear, the government did not pay because they consider it as investment.
Wow.
But
it is so the basic thing that we are discussing here, except you don't understand the financial
it's not a matter of
sector
understanding.
that we are. It is a open now because now the who can send me tell man one is some because my head who
you, after sending the budgetary allocation to Parliament, ask them to go to Consolidated Bank and then submit their claims. Telling them, promising them, says Parliament, and that's what we are talking about. Let's not use any banking. The fact that you are working in the banking sector. What mean for we make that?
Okay, budget. As if
the background say what you way. Mrs. Sasika Manka. What way? Missy okay. Your friends say
Usika you are not hitting the point. You try say.
Usika lock Miss okay, my Parliament for this card. Eddie amount.
Now 2 minutes you man Manka 2 years.
Eddie bam ebetiaka. Name mom no kwa. Na kwakwa tro e ka ya de wo fa claims nyina ko. Nti sika no be ya na Eddie amount. Sika no be ya amfa amount. Nti obuafo. Eno na ekoso wo ho.
Conscience that they always tell the people that time
and that is where
massa you see what you are saying
up to now we account
finance but what's the budget that
is what we are saying. Simple.
Saying as if say Parliament now yet to honor Parliament will be a go say made the master
it's a bailout money. It's a bailout
Parliament
here.
Parliamentarians now come we have budget for consideration. What you say? And one way the other. And nothing I am yes or tell yes. Okay, budget. Is it a conclusive decision? Who say you bet to me?
And I know you have to go amount. We say Yamawa allocation.
What does that mean? If I do a projection, say Busumi, what is space? What is space?
Explanation of core account.
So that is why the last question. I don't know thinking.
So 82 years.
No. I know the issue, but
terminology.
You lost 12 billion under your watch.
It's not even 12 billion.
Management on all this.
You have been in power for 7 years.
I wanted to lost that one crack.
So retreat to that one and so I can go into my next topic.
What say my we are say I don't think I'm going to forward it to me now. Opa, I can pack all your indebtedness and your bad deed and your dirty thing that you now you can't say yeah compare the two.
Who in Ghana thinks that you have done a better job?
But who in Ghana
thinks?
what the Sikano Huh? You mismanage the resources that you have. Who here are saying, me the two my boka. 18 Obaya Brabetuakano. Well, this assumption.
Then again, I think that the people's needs must be met.
Exactly. No. My point is that does it mean say I don't think I'm going say you trust Sikan. Into phone say Sikan say the machine. You free you are including me. Sikan you dey see machine na you dey trust Sikan.
Let's go into education.
No, but me land properly. Discussion on the public. And mami can't share public no say these are the NDC propaganda. Oh yeah, they are called parliament. They are my Sika. Why are you doing this?
No, I have to
pay. Because okay, the same thing.
Chairman.
So, you can't just come to the public and then deceive the public and then make it as if say.
Let's go to the next.
Now, but education I demand
John, take it.
Yeah,
but you've gone beyond my time. You can't take my time. Another person is coming.
Well,
do you understand me? Thank you very much. Now let's go on the government's record saying his investment is unmatched in the Fourth Republic.
In investment in education.
You started with me. You started with second one. Manikebi.
Because what?
No. And the fair moderation. Because I don't need to debate you. Why do you have to debate you?
First of all,
please go on.
First of all, free SHS. I had anchored that day. I'm telling you here plainly. I run a transport business. Me driver back home. He post to no day school. He post. I feel crowded. The betting on him. He said, "I was so pay baby and a banner better than wako school." Put that aside. The kid is now per the arrangement. No, you call high baby man without the supervision of senior house master, house mistress.
A hostel.
Oh no, I pay baby in a diamano. So which is very inappropriate. But one of my drivers passed. And no man will bet one son. What media colana school, and we are all in this country. And in a room, the messing up of the economy of this current administration. And you know, idea and once. Over 20 years, and in school, that no cramp and those economic conditions were even better. But don't take my judgment for it. Don't take my commentary on this for it. A friend said the report from IMF. They cited two issues. The first issue is that they said enrollment has increased. They said, Nipano, one more equal free SSS. One more don't. Of course, are they free? You'll be able to make it. Very good. However, they said targeting your poor. Targeting your poor, and I don't want more party and say, and can you find so make sure say, and can one man intimate and the Yetiama and Kebabo. Zano Mucho. Yaman comment to
okay.
And yen this position. Almost targeting near poor. Sabi. Can you for an hour to the Mutu? Say, we should look at the targeting again because say no ba echo SHS na say free. It doesn't make any sense. Go with me triaman collab maybe. That's what he said. The most important thing in Akola education is the outcome, the learning outcome. I have been in education, Machradia. Say anytime the learning outcome, you can say the learning outcomes are declining. Just say your core responsibility as an education system you are failing. Because the learning outcome, you say, okay, akolai onye. I was say you didn't die egunumu. Debi ya it me didn't die nugu edru ha. She say e decline and just say dim die no eswate. Enti che say obewie school no. Na ade anka wo se onim no, wonim. Good. World Bank and IMF one pointing out to say the learning outcomes they have declined to an alarming rate. Say, they also cited teacher incentives as a core ingredient that will help in education. Minyaba, as I speak to you now, 2023. What was it? A teacher for salaries, no? I say, they are trying to find other means to make ends meet. Because no, tomatoes born a cost. Me want a salary, no, and you need that, maybe a CNC. So, and the Sicanos also at a tap upon some. And you know, in 2023 alone, if you listen, just last week, UK indicated that 16,000 people, teachers from Ghana, applied to go to UK. I want to person move Ghana free Ghana education system UK. And out of that, as at June, Oma approved 10,000. Until we are going to have 10,000. Amamo Bonnie. Any friend say education system upon something out of frustration. No? For the first time, our teachers are fleeing the country to go. One more 10,000 have been approved. I mean, no CCI says, no 10,000 teachers. I could have my passport or my ready or more IGA. Teacher salary in the UK is 30,000 pounds. That is the minimum. The maximum is 40,000 pounds. 30,000 pounds multiplied by 15. I have 450 million, which is 4.5 billion. It was like 1 year. I think that so Omampani can say no investment in education. It is unprecedented and
unmatched.
Oh my goodness. Look, let us look at the figures because me you will sign same way. 2023 allocation 22.9, 23. The entire education budget, it takes the biggest part of the GDP and it is 4%. Free SHS 2.9 billion. 2.9 out of the 22.9 billion that went into education. 2.9, which said 3 billion. That translates to only 0.5% of GDP. And it is only 13.04% of the education budget that was approved. So where is the investment that we are talking about? The economy has grown. The percentages were not too different from under John Mahama. The only thing is that you have more oil wells coming on stream. Therefore, the economy has grown. So, but you cannot say, my baba says, your mama, Obiaka say, and Kolano cried this Yano Musiano Cras say, a nim, and your papa to say first panani, you know.
2 minutes.
Now, or no, or Mampany, but now to come and talk to yourself, say, why are you, why your friends say, even look at students, teachers are being burdened with more. And you say, be quiet, see classrooms, mobile schools, send Mosisi. Say, I mean, no, say, I did a scout of the schools in some of the area. Students, the minimum I saw was 55 students per class. Teacher Nibako. UK there's a law, a policy that says they cannot exceed 25 students per class. Teacher Nibia 25. Then you have classes as many as 75 students per class. Teacher Nibako. I mean, why? Ya double woman, you know. Me woman katuano, they sman the team. Touching your bet, woman touching us, say, woman to be crown woman. I'm woman in a gunny. No, I got on Macca say, you have on much in education. On much in education, and part because people are fleeing. Go for Ganico. On much in education because yes, in Colano says, oh, my out to crown, and you also who, and Yaman Kaya, I'm a Fnakaya.
You're aboating me, Pacho. Why would you think the Fourth Republic will think his investment in education is a match?
It is going even beyond that for me sitting here and tell you they say investment in human capacity or human's life. You may not even feel it as today that we are sitting here, but give yourself a time and see how important education is all about. You see, what true figures because say me coming hunikura coming the nikro ebo catcher say so for asante onwea The mega was on new economics. It was at the BBS education. To 2 figures now anyhow. Come and sit here. Let's be pragmatic about me. Oh, me, that is my problem. I'm not against anybody from any political party. And I'm because your entire different opinions. Right. But who share opinion now? Be facts on the matter. When he was ending, or say, yeah, by a school do this is reported by the newspaper. Menyemi knows. Nyani dia na wa church or laptop so no dia beto ha no. Or say they have built 406 classroom blocks. Types of science laboratories. 233 toilet facilities. STEM science SS. 386 dormitories. Who say oba dan do ahina wasi. O people no buy one can be. And I wish to say, you see, one moderators, I have a problem when I attend the Ctv, I no more contact. Kaseka true question say president say is here because we are not paying matter so working kind and one underlining your main now ha maybe they are black in a bopper for black you know and I made it here say the anchor say me na man underline oh and one underline so what you say now what can say president so we see do say not undisputed that fact or see we see dormitories 386 now and enrollments, friends, teachers incentives or their mom, laptops, almost about 280,000. Oh, yeah, scientists, baby, oh yeah, friends, IT expert. Yet Chrome ha, Professor Most time a laptop. Bizanse at the end of the year, Bizanse at the end of the year. Laptops, you know, one fancy power, any energy, into me so. Yan country. Oh, the office said, "Your man is no machine." Where there, it is physically there. Wama a tablets 450,000. It's there. Go and ask the teachers. Before the tricycles, furnitures for the school, 667,000 pieces for the schools. Now, unim or about. Oh, look at all this population. Between 2016, 2017, when we took over the school enrollments.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Have you seen any of the laptops before?
That's the question.
Where is it? Where is it?
Where are the laptops?
Me say, who the underline?
Me a PTA chairman.
It doesn't matter. Paper. This is a credible.
It's still.
Oh.
But then again, I'm asking you, have you seen it before?
If I were you, I did now.
Yeah, time they were all over the place.
Don't expose yourself. You never can be one point. Now he's bringing argument. You see, between arguments, he wants to be some questions.
This man.
The most important is that no. He has
because in a
legitimate question.
With daily graphic,
daily graphic. I'm printing. You see, it's undermining the integrity of the paper. That is what he's saying. What roach will we go? Me say, and most of the time. When you doubt it and you ask me that question, your first point of call the CHAS, call the Teachers Association, where the president said they have donated to them. Next from maybe some say, no, wait, me program, I would make a program. And I said, at the time, I didn't know crowd no pay. Me do did me no come as some will be question. Obisa me say me whole laptop ni because me teacher ni. Who now so you teacher ni? Who buy one can ho asem. Why your propaganda? And my question is that and can no partner now we discuss this panelist. They should call one of the teachers say this is what the president is saying. More laptop ni bia na. Me buy and can back up was the chairman jaika.